Audience, our next guest, my goodness gracious. And I'm so excited. She's right here in the room. She has on her Women's Channel hat. And I am going to give you a little bit of information about the lovely Melissa Heathers. Melissa has done a lot in her life, and she has lived her life in such a manner that now to fulfill her hopes and dreams she's really worked really hard to get to where she is. She is an author and she is a TV host. How exciting. She's launching her first television show. She'll tell you about that. And her topic tonight, this is so cool. Darkness to light through the power of surrender. Favorite quote, one of her own. When you surrender to your shadows, you invite your light to be born. Can't wait to hear more about that. A book that she recommends, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You're going to love that if you haven't read it yet. And her word for reflection right now is release. Welcome, my friend. I'm so happy to
Carol,
see you, Melissa.
I,
I'm looking so forward to the audience hearing your story and where you found God and light and love through surrender. Thank you for being here.
Carol, my most beautiful soul sister. I am so grateful to be here and have this opportunity with you. You're such an amazing storyteller. And when you put that out there, I was like, I have to do this. So thank you. Thank you. Much grace.
You are so welcome. Melissa also, I know the audience will notice, but she's also one of our sponsors. So huge shout out to you. Y'all be sure and follow Melissa and follow along. Her TV series is going to come out soon. Melissa, I guess let's get started first of all with this tender story of your life that you have chosen. I know we all have many stories of surrender, but I know this is a really important one to you. And I know the audience is ready to see where you found God and light and love through this power of surrender.
Yeah, I'm honored to share my story, and it's gonna start with my one of my first serious bouts of darkness. It's gonna be truly vulnerable. So just to give some insight, I have always struggled with anxiety and depression for most of my life, and my story kind of begins there with the power of surrender. So when I was 14, from a self-inflicted overdose, I had a near-death experience, also known as an NDE. And during that experience, I vividly remember my my soul, my energy, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in, leaving my body. And it hovered. It hovered over my lifeless body on the table. I could see the doctors, the nurses, my parents, all there. I could see myself there, lying there, all on all the machines. And during this outer body experience, I would hover. It would just hover, maybe like 10 feet or so above ground. And one night it just hovered down a hall. And in that hallway, there was a room. And in that room, there was my mother. And I could see her sitting in, I guess, like the patient or the waiting room, I would assume. And she was crying. And it felt like the middle of the night there. And she looked up to the light that was in the room. And there was this beautiful rosary hanging there. And she picked it up and she kept it. I would say shortly after that, it hovered kind of back over my body, back where my lifeless body was laying, where the doctors and nurses were. And I honestly wish I could say I seen this beautiful light and, you know, it came to me, but it didn't. Unfortunately, it all of a sudden went black. black, black, black. And I could still feel, but it was just like black space almost. And but I did hear what I heard was this really beautiful, calming, calming voice. It said to me, "It is not your time." And shortly after that, the biggest force of energy that you can ever imagine, like a rocket ship, I don't know, it forced me back down into my body. If I could depict it, it was like my soul was being forced back into my body. And when I came out of my coma, when I could speak, I said to my mom, "Where's the rosary that she found?" And she did indeed pull out this rosary that I showed. Um, she kept it for 31 years and she passed away this past year. And I inherited this year. And so I'm so grateful for that, that she kept that, in my heart. I would say that one would think from experience of a near-death experience that you would just automatically surrender. But for me, unfortunately, I did not. And I really feel as like I just at that time I didn't have the tools to heal my trauma and my heart yet. But what I really instantly felt in that voice when I kind of came out of my coma was the sense that my life was spared and that I was here for a purpose and I had to mm, fulfill my purpose or my mission. It didn't. Again, I wish, Carol, I could say that it came just so like easily but it didn't. It came to me in many, many darknesses throughout my life. But each darkness, it led me to my light. Each time I had trauma or tribulation or abuse or whatever my life circumstances. Those were the darknesses that led me to my light. And having that feeling of I'm here for a purpose, that's the first part of surrender because that's trust. That's trust in a higher power. It leads you to trust in yourself. And for me, like the only way out of darkness, I live by this mantra, the only way out of darkness towards the light is through each of our trials and tribulations. They really, really are our lessons to evolve our soul to become the best version of ourselves. Let go of the last version of ourselves, surrender so we can become who we're meant to become, if that makes any sense at all.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I want to thank you for being so vulnerable and so trusting of
welcome.
audience here, of me. I think the world of you, Melissa. And that's a very tender age to have that experience.
Mhm.
So it sounds to me, in this discussion of surrender and in the power of surrender and where we find God, love, light, is that you knew your story mattered. It's not the way you put it, and it's the practice of surrender. I wish so much, like you said, I wish things happened quickly and fast, and you know, that this was a switch, that there was a surrender switch. And I actually, if it's a switch, I do think it's an off and on. It's off and on until it sticks. And I'm not sure it sticks until we are no longer here physically. I think that what you're sharing with us when you say that each of our darknesses, each time is another opportunity to practice that surrender.
That's right. That's what it is. It's the lessons to learn surrender. That is why those darknesses, those trials, those tribulations are given to you. And I really do feel when you can fully encompass the full power of surrender, that's when your transcendence and your ascendance come. Because it didn't happen for me. So 14, when I attempted suicide, till I was 35 years old and had multiple darknesses that led me to my light. And once I got there, and once I was able to go, God, I surrender. I'm, I can't. It's out of my control. I trust you. I give this to you to lead me through.
Mm.
That's when the natural transcendence and ascendance in my life, the light, the full light entered my body. It's like little broken pieces in your body, right? You see a little glimmer of light.
Oh, okay. So, breath here. I really, it's so interesting. This practice of surrender from such a young age. And Melissa and I know one another, and we have gotten to know one another pretty well in a very short amount of time, actually, prior to being 14 years old. A lot of surprises in her life, a lot of different dynamics, different stories for a different time. However, this tender moment at 14 was really because you're such a good kiddo.
Mhm.
I mean, and isn't that interesting how that doesn't go together? But you so want to help others from a young age and please others from a young age that you thought, oh goodness, this is too big. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I still always want to help others. And I was a people pleaser when I was, little. I had a mom of a a daughter of a narcissist. And, you learn to be seen and not heard. And that's how you learn what love is. And eventually, through all the trials and tribulations and always trying to please people and fix things and be the primary caregiver, and, I broke. I broke in actually from a car accident. That was my that was it. And that's like when the lights went off, and that's when like I surrendered to myself through the power of love to find self-love. Because if you're not fixed and you're not healed and you're not loving yourself and you're not giving you the nourishment that you need, you can't do that for others. So,
Mm. Yes, and it's straight from, scripture. We are told, love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your strength, but to love others as you love yourself, to your point. And you didn't know how important you are and you were, and you being here was going to make such a difference and touch so many people.
mm, thank you.
And I know because I witnessed and am such a honored recipient of that care and that love that you share with other people. So the power in this surrender, to surrendering to the fact that you are loved unconditionally and that
Mhm.
you are who you are and it's okay and you get to be seen and you get to be heard. So what you're sharing with all of us is that surrender for you was literally surrendering to the fact that you are loved
Yeah.
and it's okay to love yourself.
Yep. You have to love yourself in order to love others. I know it sounds so cliche, but It's so true. To really love somebody else unconditionally, you have to love yourself first. You know, I forget what sister it is in the sisterhood that writes, put your oxygen mask on first, right? And it was the only way, like through that. Like I look back at my life and I know I needed all those life lessons. And there was a point where I said, okay, God, I can't, I cannot do anymore. I cannot take any more burden. Those life lessons, from just running to the power of love and self-love and unconditional love has made me such a better parent, such a better human, you know. The burdens of the darkness that I surrendered are no longer there. I now carry the light. If that makes sense,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Yeah. I mean, it makes so much sense. You had to surrender the darkness
to
in
carry the light.
order to receive this light and this love. And oh, Melissa, I just so appreciate you. And I know the audience is just gonna need to soak this in because it's a lot. And I am so grateful that you realize there's this story, and oh my gosh, I'm sure the team is like, okay, she needs to stop talking. There's this beautiful story. Mary Magdalene knew that Jesus was gonna be on the crucifix and, well, knew that he was not going to be with them anymore. Didn't know what was going to happen. And she broke this beautiful vase. She threw it down. She had made or she had gotten for him. And the story goes, and he is gone. She goes back to clean up the pieces, and it had been remade in a more beautiful form that had more light reflect off of it. And
I
it
just
was
get goosebumps.
It was from the breaking, and this is just a story,
Okay,
but it really and truly, thank you for this.
you're welcome.
Thank you. And every way to follow and to find out more about Melissa's. Oh, can you tell the name of your
I
TV?
can,
Please
yes.
tell everyone.
The name of my new TV show is called The Book Crawl on the Women's Channel through Easy Way TV.
Oh my
I
God.
will be supporting authors in their journey because that is my heart and my soul. All those darknesses led me to my light and led me to my writing and my healing. So,
Congratulations again.
thank you.
And I can't wait. We'll share. We're all going to follow the book crawl. How cool is that? Y'all can't believe her setup. Women's channel, e women's channel streams through Easy Way TV.
Correct.
And oh my goodness, here we go. Thank you, Melissa.